This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
I'm in chains. I'm in chains. Time, always same. She's such a sucker with the cold, flamed eyes, highs of night. Always same. She's such a sucker.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is Monday, July the 20th of 2026, and we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big.
Oh, yes, hanging out with our friends at Radio Big, doing all the fun stuff that we get to do, no doubt about that. So anyways, how have you been? How's the last, well, I guess 72, because it was Friday the last time that we kind of hung out, if you were here then. That's for sure. So a lot of stuff going on inside of the multiverse, because that's what happens. So are you having World Cup hangover? I have to tell you, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I watched any of the World Cup. Like, I think I've watched part of one game, and that was like Friday a week ago. And then yesterday I went to a restaurant unbeknownst to me that this was going down. And of course, there was a whole bunch of people waiting to watch the World Cup. And I mean, like, they were there. I think the thing said that the game didn't start for like another hour and a half. And I mean, there was quite a few people there in full gear to watch this thing. So there you go. Yeah. I was sitting there trying to figure out where the stadium was in regards to what was going on, but that's neither here or there. Apparently, a big deal for a lot of people, which is good. I mean, whatever can bring people together, good for them. So there you go. Well, anyways, let's talk a little bit about what we do around here. Our show consists of safety in the news and safety. That's just kind of what we do. So what we do around here is we hang out, we talk, we move, we groove, we do a little bit of everything. It kind of drives some people crazy with some of the stuff that we do, and that's perfectly fine. If you want to hang out here, you're more than welcome on doing so. We talk about safety in the news. We bring in some professional broadcasters that will tell you exactly what's going on, and then, of course, the alignment of stuff that we were able to find as we were hanging out. That's the other side of the equation of what we do around here. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the multiverse. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do this for a few moments. Let's go ahead and get moving and grooving. We'll talk a little bit about what the hell is going on inside of the multiverse and then go from there. So if you're good with this, if you want to take a listen to that, we'll do that in a few seconds here. But if you want to interact with the show and kind of see what the hell is going on, audio, video, and text messaging are some options that we give you if you want to do it in that way. Just go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. That will get everything moving and grooving for you. Simple enough, right? That is the whole kit and caboodle. So there you go. So with that being said, what should we do next? Well, of course, we're going to bring in our friends from Feature Story News, let them tell you exactly what's going on inside of this multiverse of ours, and then we kind of go from there. So with that being said, here's the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in Brussels, I'm William Denslow. Andy Burnham's formally becoming Britain's new Prime Minister Monday. The incoming leader's pledged to restore stability after a turbulent decade that's seen 7 prime ministers come and go. His team say he'll use his first Downing Street address to promise tangible improvements in people's lives, with the cost of living a central priority. Ollie Barrett reports from London.
Andy Burnham becomes the 7th UK Prime Minister in a decade. He's vowing to restore confidence in government. He says he will deliver a stable and responsible administration after a period of change and flux in UK politics. One of the major priorities for him, he says, will be to help people with cost of living issues. He wants to deliver greater economic growth, and he says he can do that partly by devolving more powers from London to Britain's regions and nations.
Delhi police has imposed prohibitory orders and deployed more than 1,000 officers around the Indian Parliament. Demonstrators have gathered demanding accountability over the NEET university entrance exam paper leak scandal. Both houses of India's Parliament were adjourned 3 times on the opening day of the monsoon session on Monday. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi appealed for a productive session, but made no reference to the growing protest movement. Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
The protesters are saying that this is the moment that India hasn't seen quite at this scale for the past several years, as we understand. Multiple reports coming through saying that the number of protesters has been swelling up for the past few hours at Jantar Mantar in central Delhi. While the government has not given them explicit permission, the government also says they haven't received any request to be given that permission. Despite those permissions not being present, many people have been making their way to central Delhi.
The United States struck targets on the outskirts of the Iranian city of Abadan Sunday evening, extending what's now been more than a week of consecutive American strikes against Iran. The latest attack came as the White House faces accusations of sending mixed signals on its strategy, having reimposed sanctions on Iranian oil exports after initially lifting them under a memorandum of understanding that now appears to have collapsed. Kate Fisher reports from Washington.
I think this whole mixed signals from the White House is nothing new from this conflict. This erratic negotiating strategy that Donald Trump has shown all the way through. Now you can see it again in this about face on sanctions relief for Iran, calling for them to be added to the Russia sanctions bill, after the administration has already reimposed sanctions on Iranian oil exports after initially removing them under that memorandum of understanding, which essentially seems to be dead in the water now.
And Spain have won the 2026 FIFA World Cup, beating Argentina 1-0 in extra time. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, can new British Prime Minister Andy Burnham change the oppositional tribal nature of the country's political culture? That's his ambition as he succeeds Sir Keir Starmer in number 10 Downing Street. He says he wants to lead a distinctively Labour Party government, but even some of his supporters are not exactly certain where the new British leader is heading. Kevin Craig, one of the party's former parliamentary candidates, now heads political communications firm PLMR.
I'm one of the smaller number of people around the Labour Party currently who supported Andy Burnham for leader as far back as 2015. What does Andy mean by that? Given that Andy was a leading light in Tony Blair and Gordon Brown's governments, I'm not sure. I was glad to hear as a businessman he was unapologetically pro-business and that we need businesses in this country. He made, I think, very brave pledges to change the culture, to end factionalism, which is ambitious. It's a really great aspiration, but Westminster is brutal. And I'm glad at the moment Andy's getting a fair shake of the stick from many, but it will get harder. And it's very, very difficult not to respond to attacks from others by doing the same thing.
Mr Burnham will have until September to govern without any kind of parliamentary accountability. The House of Commons is in recess until then, giving him the possible chance of enjoying a honeymoon.
The main news again. Andy Burnham's formally becoming Britain's new Prime Minister Monday. The incoming leaders pledged to restore stability after a turbulent decade that's seen 7 Prime Ministers come and go. Delhi police has imposed prohibitory orders and deployed more than 1,000 officers around Parliament. Demonstrators have gathered demanding accountability over a university entrance exam paper leak scandal. And Spain's won the 2026 FIFA World Cup, beating Argentina 1-0. And that's the latest feature story news. William Denslow reporting.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion. The book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello. Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly. Less than $2 a month and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. A face for radio indeed. 15 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Monday. So let's start getting into a lot of the stuff that was going on over the weekend because, you know, that's kind of what we do around here. We talk a little bit about everything that is going on. So there you go. So with that being said, yeah, there's some news stories to possibly address. So let's start off right away. Trump, let's see. Let's make sure we have this correctly. President Trump says that Canada's wildfire smoke is becoming more than environmental problem. It's not now a trade issue. On a True Social post, the president accused Canada of poor forest management and threatened to impose higher tariffs on Canadian goods, arguing that smoke has caused billions of dollars economic damage across the Midwest and the East Coast. Canada is currently battling nearly 900 active wildfires with fewer than 100 fully contained. But the smoke has triggered air quality alerts across more than a dozen of U.S. states, prompting health officials to advise some people to stay indoors or wear masks. Canadian Prime Minister pushed back, saying that wildfire prevention and climate change are shared responsibility between the countries. Meanwhile, several Republican lawmakers are also calling for a tougher action, with some proposing sanctions against Canada until the wildfire situations improve. What do you think? No, I'm being serious. Do you know how sometimes if you were ever overdrawn on an account, or specifically, like, let's say, for instance, you have a credit card, maybe younger years, still trying to learn how to understand how to work one of those things, and you went over your limit and then they charged you more for going over your limit? Know what I'm talking about? So they charge you more of what you do not have because you couldn't get down what you had before. Kind of feel like this is one of those scenarios. It's like, oh yeah, things are going bad. Well, we're gonna tag some other stuff on top of it because, hey, seems like it makes a good idea.
Another pitfall of our society. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, Taylor Fresh Food is voluntarily pulling all iceberg lettuce sourced from central Mexico after a parasite outbreak was linked to the lettuce from one independent farm. Federal health officials say that the outbreak has sickened people in more than 30 states and hospitalized more than 90. The FDA traced the illness shredded iceberg lettuce served at Taco Bell restaurants in Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia. Taco Bell has since removed the potential affected lettuce from restaurants in those states. Taylor Fresh says that the farm under investigation supplies less than 1%. Yes, I did say 1% of U.S. iceberg lettuce market, and emphasize that its packaged salad kits are not affected because they don't contain iceberg lettuce. The FDA investigation is still ongoing. So what do you think? No, seriously, what do you think here? It's pretty interesting because now how paranoid are you going to be about lettuce?
Duh.
I mean, I'm just asking. I mean, think about it this real quick. If you're one of these people that constantly eat salads and iceberg lettuce is part of it, like, can you tell the difference between one lettuce and another? That we'll leave that for another day. But think about this for a moment. You're going to be freaked out in regards of doing anything. It's just the kind of the way that it goes. So there's just something to think about. So there you go. Anyways, in a pure wrestling angle over the weekend, Tom Brady and Logan Paul ongoing war of words turned physical at Fanatic Fest in New York when Brady slapped the YouTuber and turned WWE star into a heated exchange on stage. Others quickly stepped in before confrontation escalated. In a video, the incident quickly racked up over 1 million views online. Paul later claimed that Brady got upset after being teased about losing to him in a flag football game. Joking that it was a bad example for kids, Brady fired back on social media, calling Paul a dork and a nerd. Okay. The two have been trading insults for months after Paul claimed the WWE career made him as athletic as an NFL players. Adding to the speculation, Brady recently said that he would love to step into a WWE ring someday, leading fans to wonder if the entire confrontation was a setup for future wrestling storyline. I mean, at this particular point, I kind of feel that it is. But what do I know? I mean, I'm being serious. What do I know in regards to this? So there you go. But an interesting thing, I would, in regards of thinking about sports, like NFL style stuff, I would, if there would have been names that would have come up in regards of potential people being in, quote unquote, let's say, going in to hang out and doing stuff with the NFL, Tom Brady would have not been on my bingo card.
Duh.
In regards of people that I would have listed off of there. So there you go. Okay, let's get into some serious news real quick. Influencers Andrew and Tristan Tate have been arrested in Miami and are awaiting extradition to the UK, where prosecutors have filed a new round of criminal charges against them. The additional allegations include rape, human trafficking for sexual exploitation, and offenses involving incidents of images of child, bringing the total number of alleged victims in the case to over 7. Andrew Tate now faces 19 counts related to the incident of images of a child in extreme pornography, along with other serious charges, while Tristan Tate faces charges including rape, sexual assault, and human trafficking. Prosecutors say that the alleged offenses occurred between 2010 and 2017. The brothers have denied all allegations. So there you go. Definitely some things to think about real quick as we are talking. What an interesting time when it comes to some of this stuff. For sure. No doubt there. So let's continue talking about some other things that are going on, because this is what we do around here. So yesterday, as you are aware, it was a big day for some when it comes to the World Cup stuff. So I'm going to read this first, and then we'll go through some of this stuff. Spain wins the 2026 World Cup, punishing Argentina with 20 shots on goal. So I don't know what that means, but I'll tell you anyways. Spain captured the 2026 FIFA World Cup champion yesterday by defeating the defending champions Argentina 1-0. After an extra time, Spain controlled possession for much of the match, while Argentina goalkeeper playing with the broken finger turned heroic performance with a record 10 saves in the World Cup final to keep his team in the game. Argentina's chance took a major hit when Enzo Fernandez was sent off for the second yellow card late in regulation, forcing the team to play an extra time and with a man down. After a disallowed Spanish goal, Ferran Torres finally broke the deadlock with the 105th minute, scoring the tournament only goal to have Spain win the first World Cup title since 2010. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on right there as we are talking. So take a listen to this. Here's the announcement when Spain wins.
It's knocked down and only finds Ferran Torres. His final touch of the game. He had the decisive touch as well. Spain, for the second time in their history, have won the World Cup.
Okay, so there's when they won the World Cup, and Luis de la Fuente, manager of Spain, talks about the win. Translator was used. Take a listen to this.
We are world champions. I am very proud, very happy for my players. I was telling your colleagues before that we closed a very important chapter. We've won in all the categories. We've grown together. We reached this stage today thanks to their talent, to their attitude, to their commitment, to their values, and to the huge footballing talent. And on top of that, this team has a long way to go. So we are already thinking what's coming next, what is coming up.
Hold on, this team has a long way to go? What do you mean they have a long way to go? Didn't they just win? Okay, so Ferran Torres, Spain on the win. Take a listen to this.
Ferran Torres, champion of the world. How does that sound?
Honestly, I can't believe it. I just try to enjoy, but I don't know what's happening.
Tell me about the moment that your beautiful left foot made the contact and the net bulged.
Honestly, I didn't think too much. I just saw the ball coming to me, and I just shoot with the power of all the Spanish people.
Eres campeón del mundo. Muchas gracias.
Okay, so there you go. They are the World Cup champions. So there you go. I don't know. A lot of stuff going on right there. And I guess we should talk about this real quick. Window World 450 race happened yesterday too. So let's see who won the thing. Joey Logano wins. Take a listen to this.
Legends built this place, and a three-time champion is going to win here tonight. Joey Logano, first career victory of the season comes at North Wilkesboro.
I mean, you just hear them whipping by right there in regards to what the hell's going on. It's like, boom, 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 boom. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on right there as we are talking. So, okay. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I just look at it and go, what an interesting time as we are talking in regards about some of this stuff. It's really weird because I'm always amazed on how many people jump out in regards of all the sports stuff. And I'm not picking here. I'm just always amazed on the pure amount of just people that will jump out and be like, hey, yeah, love it, and all that kind of fun stuff. Good stuff, good times there. Let's talk about this real quick because, we do talk about this on Friday, so I guess sometimes we should talk about it on Mondays. This way we can see what the outcome was.
The top spot at the box office this weekend. At the box office. The box office roundup.
The weekend box office. At the box office this weekend.
Okay, so let's talk about the box office. Disclosure Day came in at number 10 with $1.5 million. And number 9 was Supergirl with $1.53 million. And number 8 was Obsession, $2.5 million. And number 7, Young Washington, $3.7 million. And number 6 was The Invite with $3.9 million. Let's see. The Evil Dead Burn. Okay. $5 million. That was the number 4 spot. And number 5 spot was that. Number 4 spot was Toy Story 5 with $14.8 million. And number 3 was Minions and Monsters with $14.8 million. And numero dos was Moana with $19 million. And I don't think that this will come to anyone's surprise, but Christopher Nolan's Odyssey is the new number 1 movie in North America, earning $125 million over the weekend. So what do you think? Did you go see it? I'm just asking. I did not. That is, don't get me wrong. I like Christopher Nolan. Nothing against him. Great stuff that he puts out. Not a movie for me. Just not my style of movie, but that's okay. Not everything that's made is for me, even though sometimes people get confused in regards of like, what do you mean this movie was made? And I'm the one that's supposed to like it myself. I mean, I don't know. I never get it. It's kind of a weird vibe there in regards of it. But hey, congratulations to them in regards of making it that far with that information right there of what the hell's going on. Let's continue talking about some other things that are going on. I don't know what exactly we should talk about here, but take a listen to this. A Wyoming girl 7 on the verge of a heartbreak after every guest canceled her for a birthday party before mom's frantic call to action. Take a listen to this. What started off as a heartbreaking birthday turned out to be a feel-good story thanks to the kindness of strangers. 7-year-old Chloe Blandon of Cody, Wyoming was left without a single guest after her child invited to a birthday party got canceled. As Chloe sat at a local pizzeria with her family, decorations, and birthday cake ready to go, her mom posted a last-minute plea on local Facebook group asking if anyone with kids could stop by. The response was overwhelming. More than 150 people replied within minutes, and about 15 families, complete strangers, showed up to celebrate Chloe, bringing her gifts, playing games, and making sure that she had a birthday she deserved. Chloe, whose family recently moved to Cody, has developmental challenges and have made it harder for her to make friends. Her mom said everyone who came treated her like family, like old friends, and Chloe ended up having an amazing day. One man in Montana even sent money through Venmo so that she could get another birthday present. The heartwarming story also caught the attention of the Wyoming Senator Cynthia Loomis, who praised Cody community for stepping up and helping make Chloe's 7th birthday one that she'll never forget. I mean, what an interesting time. I mean, think about that for a moment. All of a sudden, you got nothing going on, and then all of a sudden, everything changed by a Facebook plea. What an interesting thing right there. So there you go. So now we're going to continue with some news of the strange British woman is warning that contact lenses after hold on, let me talk about this. A British woman is warning contact lenses wearers after a rare parasite invaded her eye. Yeah, Parasite, you heard me, leaving doctors to sew her eyelids shut in effort to save her vision. Emma Martinson says that the ordeal after she fell into a muddy wheelbarrow while cleaning a horse stable. Although she washed her face afterwards, she didn't remove her contact lenses until later that evening. Doctors believe that the microscopic parasite entered the eye through the lenses. She was eventually diagnosed with a rare but serious infection that can occur when contact lenses are exposed to water. The parasite damaged her cornea so severely that the doctors had to sew her eye shut to help it heal. She has lost vision in that eye, faces future corneal transplant, and says that her ultimately has the eye removed if it doesn't improve. Martin is now urging contact lens users to never expose their lenses to water or to follow proper hygiene, saying that a painful experience has completely changed her perspective. So there you go. Some things to think about as we are talking. Let me give you another one real quick, if you don't mind. A former Alabama prosecutor is behind bar after prosecutors say that he tried to poison her husband a second time while out on bond after attempted murder. Authorities say that they allege that 75-year-old Sarah Baker repeatedly laced her husband's James Baker food and drinks with fentanyl last year, leading to 11 felony charges, including attempted murder and conspiracy to commit murder. After posting a $400,000 bond, prosecutors say that Baker violated the conditions of her release by arranging for a bottle containing fentanyl to be smuggled into her husband's home through a caregiver. How the hell does that happen? Investigators say that the bottle contained about 12 grams of fentanyl. And a judge ruled that the actions posed too great of a risk for public safety, revoking her bond. And a surprising twist, James Baker stood by his wife in court, insisting that she had followed the rules and saying that he wanted to continue seeing her. Baker has pleaded not guilty, citing mental disease or defect, and has been ordered to undergo psychological testing in the case as the case moves forward. So there you go. What an interesting time. Like, if you found out your spouse allegedly was lacing you with fentanyl, would you be a stand-up person and stick with them? I'm just asking, because it makes it very, very weird as we are talking, that is for sure. Okay, with that being said, 32 minutes past the top of the hour, so you know how it goes around here. Main story time.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay. I want you to stop me when it all sounds familiar here for just a brief moment in time, because I always find it interesting when we start talking and we hear that one terminology that we can never seem to get away from. And let's talk about safety first. Oh, yes. You heard me say the magic term, safety first. So there you go. So I'm sure at this point you've heard that maybe 1,000 times, maybe 1,000,000 times. I don't know. I think it's funny when you start hearing about this and some of the diagnoses that people have in regards to safety first, on how their organization is committed to safety first, and all the the hunky-dory material full of bullshit that comes with it. And let's just be realistic. I know that idealistically you are assuming that things are going to become quote unquote safety first because your organization is so different than any other organization that ever existed. I've heard some of this before. But here's what I want you to think about. I want you to think about some of the aspects here on when you hear that. Let's say hypothetically that your organization tomorrow, not a Fortune 500 company, stops making it. They no longer are making the amount of money that they're making today. Will they still be saying safety first? Now, I will tell you, I know that I say that to be sarcastic to some extent because we both know that safety first will not be safety first if your organization is not making money. It's just not the way that it goes. So let me use a hypothetical here, and I will give you my real world scenario, and then I will tell you hypotheticals as we go through. But let's say, for instance, that you've had this whole thing where you've had the opportunity to report directly to the CEO of the company that you work at, or that you have a direct line to a C-suite member. I'm not saying you have layers. I'm saying you have a direct line. And let's say, for instance, because, we're heading towards that 8 o'clock hour, we'll use this as an example. You have a meeting with the CEO at 8 o'clock in the morning. You've been prepping, getting ready for the whole thing, whatever you do. And then all of a sudden, 13 minutes before, 1-3, you get the cancellation notice. You get the reschedule notice. You get that notice of, the meeting that we were going to have has been canceled. Rescheduled for a different day. Okay, I understand it. I get it. Things happen. But then there's another time that you have to go to the C-suite and talk to them. And let's say, for instance, hypothetically, you're scheduled to speak at 11 o'clock. You get there at 10:45. You want to make sure that you're there on time. Everything's going. You're ready. And you get up there and you're going to go into the room, and the assistant comes out and says, just want to let you know we're running a little bit behind. We'll come and get you. So you got there at 10:45. 11 o'clock's your start time. So you were thinking, maybe I'll hit lunch around noon. Good stuff. 11:15 happens. 11:30 happens. 11:45 happens. 12 o'clock happens. Now, keep in mind, just because you have one of these dumb C-suite meetings does not mean that the rest of your day does not have other things going on. So now 12 o'clock happens. Still nothing. All of a sudden, 12:30. Let's use 12:45. 1 o'clock. 1:15. 1:30. 1:45. All of a sudden, it's your time to come in. Now, here's the funny part. I want you to think about this for a moment. All this has occurred. Now, this meeting is roughly about 2 hours and 45 minutes behind. And when you go in there, they tell you immediately, we're going to have to shorten your time because we're running really far behind. And all of a sudden, for what the discussion was supposed to be around 30 minutes, now it's become about a 7-minute ordeal. Now, does this mean to you, between the combinations of these things, safety first? Now, let me throw in a third scenario for you. Imagine all of a sudden, boom, you don't make it to that meeting because you have other things that are scheduled. Do you think that that's going to go over okay? Because I'm going to say no. And that's where it gets weird. And the other portion that it is, I remember one time having a meeting with the CEO that I don't think he ever paid a single attention to anything that was going on, because he kept on staring at his computer. He kept on looking around doing other things because it was important what he had going on, until I mentioned the word death. When I mentioned that word, everything changed. The perspective changed immediately within the org in regards to what he had going on. He was like, oh, what are you talking about? But that's the thing. Organizations that have safety first, I'm not going to say that they're trying to do it out of malice, but I understand the premise. It makes sense. But also at the same time, I don't think it's realistic. And these are the things that drive me crazy in regards of hearing this. Because at the time that you take a look at it, you're never going to put something out there that says that we don't value safety. Just not something common. But if you're at one of these organizations that that's all they ever try to bring up, you know that there's a problem there. There just is, because it's not a realistic approach to what's going on. So maybe the next time somebody brings this up, maybe we have that conversation and going, hold on just a moment. And maybe not from a sarcastic standpoint, but maybe ask that question. Is it truly safety first? And listen, I'm not going to say that we should sit here for a moment and the department that handles safety, because that's normally how it's set up in most organizations. We can talk about how that layout should be differently at some other point if you want. But we can talk about it. Is it really safety first within the organization? I mean, if you turn around and tell me profits first, I get it. Might not agree with how, you have it worded, but I get it. It makes sense. At the end of the day, you work at an organization that is a business, and they are there mostly to make money. And I get that. And you cannot do some of your safety functions as a department inside of the organization without that. Some places will consider the operations side of the organization a profit maker, where they look at it as a profit center is how it's looked at, where anything related to safety is they do not look at it as a profit center. They look at it as it's going to be a loss of profits that come out of there because there is a cost. Anything that you ever save, anything that you ever turn around and are able to help not occur, you'll never be able to prove it. And that's normally the problem with some of this stuff, is that you look at it and you go, how is this going to work in the long run? And you go, well, it's going to be a very difficult ride, because what ends up taking place is that people will never understand what you caused not to happen. Yes, what you caused not to happen.
Duh.
Just think about that for a moment, and that might give you a different perspective on when you hear that term, safety first.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
You've seen the loop. You've felt the shift. The script doesn't fit anymore, and neither do you. Safety transmission. The collapse of the construct is the third and final signal in the trilogy from J. Allen, Ph.D. And this time, it's not about waking up. It's about what you do once you're awake. The system didn't break. It just stopped pretending to hold you. And now it's blinking, rebranding presence, packaging resistance, and calling it progress. This book isn't a guide. It's a transmission. It doesn't teach the system how to evolve. It shows you how to stop performing for it. You'll see what happens when awareness becomes responsibility, when audits don't listen, and when leadership becomes a loop. But if you've made it this far, you're not here to be managed. You're here to carry signal. Safety transmission. The collapse of the construct. Now available in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by J. Allen, Ph.D. Because if it couldn't hold your signal, it was never real to begin with.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
So do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now, that live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Fighting all the same, she's such a sucker, but she likes dark work. Fighting all the same, she's such a sucker. I'm in chains, got my plane, but there's just nowhere to land. I'm all in, called your bluff, but then the Sam's killer hand. Picking up the pieces on the floor, and there's a void in my heart. All the same, you know, she's such a sucker.
Okay, here we go. 45 minutes past the top of the hour. As you and I are hanging out on this lovely Monday. This right here that you're taking a listen to as we are hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show is Saints of Valerie. Nowhere to Land. Songs readily available on Apple Music, YouTube Music, Spotify, and Pandora. Yeah, I'm in chains. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. I would say go ahead and give this one a little streamer action. We would like to thank Saints of Valerie for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that's just kind of how it goes as we are hanging out doing all of our lovely things. That is for sure. Okay, so let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you about in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Our Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and we want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com. And click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, all kinds of information related to, if you're good with it, let me share that with you. Addiction, depression, eating disorders, anxiety, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. You go there, all kinds of information, I'm telling you. And you just look around the website. It has everything from about, get involved, stories, events, self-care, and even a store. And if you want to, you can even donate to the cause of what they're doing. I will tell you. Go there, take a look around. It could change the way that you potentially look at things. No doubt about that. There's one shirt that's out there. It says, "Heal out loud. We almost lost you in the silence." I think it's one of those great shirts that, that they carry on that website. Anyways, TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. Anyways, with that being said, why don't we go ahead and do this right now? Let's bring some John Small into our life and let him tell us about what the hell is going on with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute. Courtesy of JaceCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by Patrick. Miles Davis said, "I'm always thinking about creating. My future starts when I wake up every morning. Every day I find something creative to do with my life." I love that. I've always enjoyed using my creativity to do fun things. When I was a kid, I would daydream, and many times I'd get completely lost in my own mind. Then I'd realize the teacher was talking to me, and I'd be completely checked out. It was like a scene from a movie, but at least it was a comedy movie and not like a horror story. I probably would have learned a lot more if I paid more attention in class, but I used my mind for other things, and it's been wonderful to be a creative person. I used to paint. It's been many years since I've done that. I also loved photography, and I still get to use that skill, but now it's on my phone. But at least I get to use some creativity there. The Motivation Minute. This has been the Motivation Minute. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
A federal judge in New York issued a preliminary injunction blocking a controversial merger between two of the nation's largest grocery store retail chains.
The ruling temporarily halts the deal, while antitrust regulators present their full legal case regarding consumer market competition. Corporate executives expressed disappointment with the decision, but vowed to appeal the court order immediately next week. Liam White reporting.
A powerful solar flare disrupted critical satellite communication networks across parts of Asia and the Pacific region. Late Sunday afternoon, space scientists officially confirmed online.
The intense radiation burst caused brief blackouts for regional maritime fleets and commercial aviation operators. Researchers expect minor atmospheric disturbances to persist until Monday, but they do not anticipate any permanent damage to electrical infrastructure now. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Tensions have escalated sharply in West Asia following a wave of direct military engagements between the United States and Iran.
The U.S. Central Command carried out its 8th consecutive day of airstrikes against Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps positions inside Iran to punish Tehran for a drone and ballistic missile attack in Jordan that killed 2 American service members. Gary Beck reporting.
Russia launched one of its largest ballistic missile and drone barrages against Kyiv overnight.
The Ukrainian Air Force reported that Russia deployed 41 missiles, including Iskander-M and hypersonic Zircon variants, alongside 125 drones targeting the capital and other major urban centers. The strikes caused severe damage across multiple residential and industrial districts, leaving at least 6 people dead and dozens injured. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Firefighters in Northern California successfully contained a fast-moving wildfire Sunday that briefly threatened hundreds of suburban homes near the large city of Sacramento this weekend.
Strong winds pushed the flames through dry brush, forcing mandatory evacuation orders for several vulnerable neighborhoods. Families are now returning to their properties because containment lines held firmly, and safety teams finished inspecting the area. Jessica Oakley reporting.
The governor of Texas signed an emergency declaration after a severe thunderstorm system brought damaging hail and flash floods to Houston citizens unexpectedly.
The violent storms knocked out power to thousands of homes and submerged several major highways under deep water. State officials are now deploying rescue boats and opening community shelters to assist residents displaced by floodwaters. Kevin Sanders reporting.
Dedicated rescue teams in Japan worked through Sunday evening to locate missing survivors after a massive landslide destroyed a coastal town located outside Tokyo completely.
Heavy torrential rains triggered the sudden mudslide, which demolished numerous family homes and displaced hundreds of residents. Emergency response crews are now setting up temporary shelters while intensive excavation efforts continue throughout the long night. Chris Anderson reporting.
A major technical system outage grounded dozens of commercial flights across the United States early Sunday morning, leaving thousands of travelers completely stranded inside terminals.
The software glitch disabled check-in systems and federal flight databases for 4 hours before engineers resolved the issue. Airlines warn that residual delays will likely impact passenger schedules nationwide throughout the upcoming business work week. Kyle Norris reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
In order to save the planet from cow farts, why doesn't someone just invent really large gas X pills?
God, what's that awful stench? Radio Big.
Oh, yeah, some awful stench here at Radio Big and at the Rated R Safety Show. It's definitely what it sounds like. Okay, so with that being said, why don't we go ahead and get into some other things as we are talking. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. In 1868, the first use of tax stamps on cigarettes. Yes, they called it tax stamps just in case. In 1878, the first telephone was introduced in Hawaii. In 1940, single records charts were first published by Billboard or Tommy Dorsey at number 1. In 1969, the first man on the moon, Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin on the Apollo 11. In 1970, the first baby is born on Alcatraz Island. In 1973, Bruce Lee dies. In 1988, Michael Dukakis is selected as the Democratic presidential nominee. In 1991, Kirk Cameron marries Growing Pains co-star Chelsea Noble in upstate New York. In 1991, Mike Tyson's accused of raping Miss Black America contestant. And let me see what else. In 2012, James Holmes bought a ticket for a midnight showing of The Dark Knight Rises at a Century 16 multiplex theater in Aurora, Colorado. Shortly after the movie began, Holmes propped open an emergency exit, walked to his car, and returned heavily armed, wearing body armor, standing in front of the theater, and he began discharging tear gas and a variety of weapons into a panicked crowd, killing 12, wounding 58. That all happened back on the corresponding days that I was referencing. Also, in some other news, Kim Carnes turns 81 today. Carlos Santana is 79. Josh Holloway turns 57. Judy Greer turns 51. Elliot Yao Ming turns 48. Gisele Bündchen turns 46 today. And Juliana Huff turns 38. So there you go. There's some birthdays for you, if you do not mind. Let's talk real quick about some things that you ought to know. Here's Friday's winning Mega Million numbers. It was 22, 34, 45, 48, 55. The Mega Ball was 14. And here's Saturday's winning Powerball numbers: 9, 14, 44, 50, 56. The Powerball was 3. Power Play was 4. Since there was no jackpot winners, tonight's jackpot will be for $544 million. Also, President Trump, who was in attendance at the World Cup final yesterday, making his first appearance at the 2026 tournament and its final match. So there you go. Also, in the wake of multiple fatal shootings involving U.S. immigrants and customs enforcement officers, the agency will require its officers to record vehicle stops with at least one body camera, Trump administration border czar Tom Homan said yesterday. Also, VP J.D. Vance's wife has welcomed their fourth child, a baby boy named Alec Neil Vance. The couple shared the news on X yesterday, and we are excited to announce that our baby boy, Alec Neil Vance, was born this morning, JD wrote. I'm not picking here, but I'm kind of shocked that it wasn't on True Social. And I'm not saying that to be a punk. I'm just saying I'm just kind of surprised that wasn't the main source, but who knows. Anyway, so that's it. That's going to sum up our time together at the top of the hour. I will be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come out and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so, as I will be talking about the world of music and entertainment over there. If you don't want to go, I perfectly understand. Makes absolute perfect sense to me. If you do want to go, well, here's the way that it goes. You just go to radiobig.fm and click that up, and we go from there. That's radiobig.fm. So there you go. And it's the .fm, not a .com. I'll get you over there. If not, you can hang out right here with the likes of Sheldon Primus, as he will talk about the world of safety consulting. So there you go. If I can't leave you with some words of wisdom for today, develop a passion of learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow. And if I can leave you with some advice for today, hide a $20 bill somewhere safe. Someday it will pay for parking, gas, or lunch when you forget your wallet. So there you go. I guess that would mean hide it where. That's a great question. Anyway, so I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love ya, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
Saying you should just sucker. such a sucker.